everyone. Hello everyone and good afternoon. This is the Southwest Herts Link for Growth show on a Friday afternoon as usual. We've got an absolutely packed show this week full of news. Alex will be talking about the Westminster election results at Southwest Herts. So Alex, if you'd just like to briefly give us a quick headline.
Yeah, headlines. Conservatives are the new government. They got an overall majority of 331, very dominant in the Southwest Herts area and the surrounding kind of North London and M25. So yeah, more on that and updates and stats, how we compare to last year, coming up.
Okay, great. And Catherine, a couple of big events for my Green Foundation, including Marrick's run at Silverstone, and what's coming up for the MGF in the next few weeks. So if you just give a brief heads up, that'd be fabulous.
Absolutely, yeah. Marrick ran the Wings for Life World Run last Sunday. More on that later. He's also going to be running the Grand Union Canal Challenge 50k, which he needs to raise money for. Give you all the links for those later. We've also got Varsha Khatri, who's doing a yoga coaching day to raise money. All these are raising money for the Michael Green Foundation. More of those to come. I will also be introducing a new section reviewing a restaurant, which actually in this case this week is a takeaway because we didn't go anywhere. But it's a really fabulous place, and I'll tell you all about it later.
Okay, great. That sounds very tasty. And Chris, you're going to talk about you're out and about again this week for us, and where are you, and with whom are you talking?
Well, hi there, Diane and everyone. I'm actually outside Richard Harrington's office. I thought I might just go in there and do a fairly random, impromptu interview, but I've been frantically running the ringing the doorbell, and it looks like the lights are on, but no one's at home.
I imagine you might be down in Wetherspoons. You might find him there having a little celebration.
Yeah, I should warrant that, but I don't know. I've sent them emails all day today, but obviously they've taken a day off, I think, after being up until heaven knows what time last night.
Okay. Well, yeah, if you want to talk about any of those issues and any of the other issues that are covered in the program, you can find us via our website, the Southwest Link for Growth website for Southwest Herts, which is http://bit.ly/L4G and then ERTS and underscore. You can find us on Twitter at L4G SW Herts. So if you want to join in and pass comments, then please join us that way. So we had a busy week in Link for Growth in this past week. Started off with coffee at Regis on Wednesday, where we had about 14 people turning up for the coffee morning. What made it really interesting, we had 3 French business students who are studying for 2 months in the UK who came along to see how some networking organisations in the UK work. This is part of a scheme where they have to spend a period studying abroad to improve their language skills as part of their business education. So it's fascinating talking to them. The 3 of them came from different parts of France, and the person who bought them was someone who was actually looking to place apprentices, UK apprentices in France and French apprentices in the UK to build up their international experience. Now, I deliberately didn't start with the link for coffee on Saturday at the Watford market because, of course, that also links into a whole lot of other stuff. The market was absolutely packed. I mean, Chris and I actually were there with me, so perhaps you'd like to fill in a bit more details. I mean, I think a lot of it was to do with the football match being on earlier in the day, and also the fact it was a kind of promotion party atmosphere.
Yeah, definitely. I got there at 10 o'clock and it was busy then, and it only got busier, and it took the staff, Ray and his staff, were just rammed. I've never seen them that busy, and they were saying we've gone from really quiet to rushed off our feet within a week or so, just because the promotion, for anyone who doesn't know, the kickoff was at 12:15, so more people were in the town early in the morning, so they were looking for when the Wetherspoons, where we have our drinks evenings, packed by to in order to 10 full, you couldn't get in, so people would try and go to the market, and it was just rammed full of people in Watford shirts, and yeah, it was a party atmosphere.
Yeah, and all the food stalls down the parade and the top end of the high street were also doing brisk trade.
I would imagine so, and having seen the kind of pictures that Catherine had put up of Nick's big baguette sausage sandwich, I'm sure it was pretty good quality.
It was huge. It was this big.
It did look really big.
It was huge. It was one of the sausage stalls in the high streets where they had some of the market stalls, and I had a much healthier box of Greek salad and chicken souvlaki from Euro, which is one of the most recent additions to Watford Market. But yeah, very, very busy in town. We were coming away probably around 2:30, 3, just after the match on Watford had finished, and it was absolutely ram-packed in the high street. You couldn't move. So.
Okay, and of course, Chris, we saw Boris, or we didn't actually. We must have been the only people in Watford to have missed Boris on Saturday morning because he wandered down the parade.
Yeah, it's quite interesting with Boris. He's got this kind of celebrity status, and although we missed him, everyone was telling us how they'd managed to grab a selfie with him, and he was just joining in and being part of the whole fun of the day, really. So all credit to him, really, for coming out and supporting Richard. So, in fact, I'm going to cut out now because I'm going to go down the market and I'm going to hopefully grab a couple of the traders down there and see what they think about recent events last Saturday and also the election results. So I'll catch up with you guys in a bit when I've wandered down there.
Okay, pal.
Okay.
All right, cheers for now.
Cheers. Catch you later. Okay, and the other thing was, of course, on Monday afternoon we saw a huge party going on in Watford to do with the promotion of the football club in Castleby Park. And Paul Roberts took some photos for us of inside Watford. As you can see here, the streets were absolutely packed out. I know Neil also had managed to get one or two photographs that were fascinating. The market, if you look on some of the other media outlets, not the market, sorry, the park, if you look at some of the other media outlets, was absolutely jam-packed. And it's great to report there was no major trouble either on the Saturday or on the Monday after the event. It was down to just a few people who were minor instances of high spirits and high jinks, apart from one or two people throwing glasses, which is a bit unfortunate, but it didn't seem to spoil too many people's party and day. And of course the weather, as you can see from these photos, really helped make the promotion party go off with a smile. It was all held down in Castleby Park. There's an Elton John tribute act there, as you can see here. The players apparently were really enjoying themselves. There's lots of fun things happening, lots of ice cream, dogs turn up, and of course it was all held by Watford Cedar Tree, which you can see there. I don't know what that is, but it was a fun day out. I think everyone had a really good time there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if anyone. Sorry, Diane. I don't know if anyone's seen the video of the Watford van. Obviously, he had enjoyed himself too much, decided to do a few laps off the pond. I'm not sure if you've seen the video.
I have heard rumours. I think it's perhaps a bit fortunate the pond was cleaned out the other week, as Neil reported.
Yeah, he decided to take a few lengths, and it took him a while, shall we say. I don't think athleticism was his biggest skill.
To me, it looked a bit like a. Well, no, that would be cruel. But yeah, it's. I mean, there were over 20,000 on the match day there, and there must have been a similar number, if not more, in the park on the Monday. So, obviously, there's a lot of support, and it's going to be a real economic boost to the town. Apparently, Swansea, when they were promoted to the Premier League in their first season, they reckon that the town's Cardiff Business School did a study, and it reckoned that Swansea gained an extra £55 million of income. And through their promotion to the Premier League, which is a phenomenal amount for not a particularly big city.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal amount. If you say, even scale it back to say, well, Watford isn't size someone like Swansea, but if you said, even if it's only half of them, that's still a lot of money going into the local economy. And hopefully, people start using places like Hell's Kitchen more because it becomes convenient. Because I know Ray wanted the kind of people there going through the market to go to the football and start picking up the local trade more. It might make a difference. We don't know. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, let's hope that it does make a big difference. And of course, kick-off times seem to be constantly changing in the Premier League to comply with television. So maybe that will also drive more traffic to the market and the other fast food outlets and chains on the parade part of the high street.
Possibly, yeah. We'll wait and see. It should be an interesting time.
Exactly. Now, Catherine, I got a Marek who's put on his running shoes again for you guys at the Michael Green Foundation. But this time it's a place you normally associate with motor cars rather than running.
Absolutely, yes. The Wings for Life World Run, which is an annual event held in 35 locations around the world. The GB location is at Silverstone. Yes, you're right, better known for cars. But Marek is he's on a mission to run 5 races over the next few months, raising money for the Michael Green Foundation, and this was one of them. He's been training I think probably most of the year for this particular race. It's one that he ran last year. The idea of the race is that everybody knows where the starting line is. It's a personal race because everybody finishes in a different way. A chaser car is released 30 minutes after the start at the speed of 15 kilometers an hour, and it speeds up every hour. Basically, it catches the runners who are at the back. So once you've been caught, that's the end of your race. When the last runner is caught, that's the end of the race. So it's really a matter of going as fast as you can for as long as you can. Marek managed to run just over 27 kilometres, which is 1 kilometre more than he ran last year. So jolly well done to Marek. It took him 2 hours 17 minutes, which meant he was running an average pace of 8 minutes per mile, which is pretty good going, I think. The money that he's raising, as I say, is all going towards the Michael Green Foundation. He's got a Virgin Money giving page set up. I'll put the link at the end of this show so that you can have a read about what he's doing next. But yeah, well done, Marek, and thank you very much.
And how I know he's done several other bits and pieces for you. So how much has he raised this year for you guys so far? Do you have any idea or confirmed totals?
The only total that we've got at the moment is what's on his giving page, and I think it was standing at about £160 at the moment. But I don't know whether that's a grand total, whether he's been using a paper sponsorship form as well. He might well have been, I don't know. But yes, I'll have to catch up with him at some point because he's got more running to do.
Yes, and we'll come on to that a bit later. And one or two other things that Michael Green Foundation have got coming up. One of the other things is that, of course, it's happened this week. It's kind of perhaps the reason why we're all a little bit tired and everything. We've all been watching the election. Mm-hmm. And yeah, the Tories obviously have defied the opinion polls, as it were. They've done much better than people expected, but they're doing a lot worse. Yeah, nationally, the Tory vote was up about 0.7%. And Labour vote was down about 1.4. The big losers, I think, as everyone knows, is the Liberal Democrats at 15.1. And one of the big winners, of course, was the Scottish Nationalists in Scotland. Well, we in South West Herts have just been fascinated by the race here in Watford, which was considered a three-way marginal, but it turned out slightly different, didn't it, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I was tasked with the kind of the election roundup and giving all these stats. So I don't know how much detail you want me to go into with it. I mean, you gave me a list of 9. I've taken the kind of the 3 in this area. So I've got the details of Watford, Hertsmere, and South West Herts, which is 3 rivers, and I've broken those down. So we'll start with Watford. For anyone who doesn't know, Richard Harrington retained his seat. He had a slim majority of about 1,400. He then extended it this time by about another to a new majority of 9,794 to nearly a 10,000 majority, which puts it into quite a safe seat. Looking at this, he gets about 43% of the vote, and he's increased his share by about 8%. So a really solid, good win for Richard there. And Labour surprisingly made second place with 14,606 votes. Dorothy pushed back into third place. UKIP in fourth with Nick Lincoln. The Greens under Aidan Cottrell Boyce in fifth, and the Trade Union Socialist Party in sixth. Again, the UKIP over Greens and then over Tufts doesn't surprise me. The big one for me, surprise-wise, is Lib Dems in third. Obviously, Dorothy has a big local standing, and I would have thought that her local appeal would have helped. But looking at the swing of vote, the overall Lib Dems in Watford lost 14% of their votes, and meeting with the national statistics, which I have written down here, is in line. The national statistics, the Lib Dems lost 15%, so it's in line with the national share. Watford following the trend of losing seats for the Lib Dems.
Yeah, I think people were quite surprised with the fact that her decline was, as it were, as you say, matched the national trend, because of course she's very well known and very well respected here. Do you think that the events at Farm Terrace around the health campus have hurt her cause? Possibly. I generally think that she would have stood a better chance if she stood as an independent candidate, because the Lib Dems are always going to take a hit, and they have in every single seat. So by standing as an independent, she could have lost the tag of being a Lib Dem and been solely judged on her stance in Watford, as most independents have been. But have been given the badge of a Lib Dem, she's kind of said, I'm also not as popular in Watford as I could be, and also suffer from being a Lib Dem nationally. So she suffered in that instance, and I've just found the turnout 66.6%, so 2/3 of the people eligible to vote did vote. Decent amount there. So yeah, in Watford's interesting, retained by Richard Harrington into his second term. Yeah, I mean, she's not going to ditch the Lib Dem Labour this year, because of course that's been very successful for her in the past. But I think you might be right. If she had that option, she might well have done better. But of course, you can never tell. And then moving on to Hertfordshire South West, which is here the constituency that covers part of Rickmansworth, and then sort of like wanders up through the kind of the border with Buckinghamshire, and it sort of like ends up in Tring kind of area. Yeah. What happened there? I mean, I gather David Gaulk was returned. David Gaulk was returned with a majority of 36,608. So, with a majority, with that many seats, sorry, the majority of 23,000. So a rather large majority, and taking about 56% of the share again. His vote going up. Labour second place, with UKIP in third as a surprise over the Lib Dems, who again suffered. They lost 17% of their votes, so more than the national average here. So yeah, David Gaulk, Treasury Minister, I believe, so has a good national standing in the party. Will maybe move up in the kind of food chain in the hierarchy of government in the Treasury Office. Now it's a sole Conservative party. Yeah, so a good return for the Conservatives there with David Gaulk. Yeah, and the Conservative majority was 23,200 and something, which is a phenomenal number. It must be one of the safest Tory seats in the country. Yeah, I'll look up and get back to you on that one. Again, I'm a rank amateur in the lines of the Paxmans and what we would have seen on TV last night. Don't worry, you're doing really well. The other thing, of course, that with the Lib Dems, it's a bit of a surprise, because Three Rivers District Council is a Lib Dem council. I believe they've now lost the council. Haven't got the statistics for all the councils. I've got some Watford Borough Council details, but Lib Dems, I believe, they've lost Three Rivers Council. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, again, I'll clarify this and put everything together in a little piece for the website, so everyone who wants to see all the details can find out more. This was the council elections were being counted up today, so we haven't got the full picture for all of them yet. I've got some details for Watford in a minute. Okay, well, we'll talk about those in a moment. And then Hertsmere, which of course is the area that covers Bushy, which is where you're based. Yeah, Hertsmere, we have a new MP. The previous incumbent, James Clapperton, stood down. We, as no surprise, we elected a Conservative MP in Hertsmere.
I've always said that we could put a pig with a rosette in Hertsmere and they'd still get elected. It's just one of those safe seats in the country. The Conservatives will always win. Oliver Dowden, 29,696 votes, majority of 18,000, so it's gone up by 1,000% from 1,000 from James Clapton's time. Labour in second place, UKIP in third with a 9% rise, so in line with kind of the national average, and the Lib Dems pushed back fourth in a last place, only 4 people standing in Hertsmere with an 11% decrease. So really suffering a lot, Lib Dems, in what would be their kind of a second place for them.
Yeah, because it's one of the it's another one of those kind of really safe seats, isn't it? Like Herts Southwest, or like other places are, say, in different parts of the country for the Labour Party, or indeed what used to be considered safe seats for Lib Dems. Yeah,
this is Tory heartland now. If you look around the whole ring of the M25. Take outside London, the ring of the M25 is now Tory heartland. They won the majority of those seats from the Lib Dems, and then South of England's just covered in blue as a result of this election.
Yeah, I mean, very briefly, St Albans, I noticed that Anne Main there, and I mention it because it comes into Bedmond, which is kind of right on the edge of our area. They had she had an increase in vote of near enough 6%. And she ended up with a majority of 12,700. So she did quite well. And again, it's that kind of Labour also boosted their vote by just over 5%. And again, the main sufferers were the Lib Dems. So the constituencies around us seem to have, as it were, almost exactly mirrored the national average.
Yeah, taking the national average, I pulled the statistics out today. After the last seat, the Conservatives overall got 36.9% of the vote, increasing theirs not as much as Labour. They only increased it by 0.8%. Labour increased their vote by 1.5%, but not enough. If you look at the statistics, they were decimated in Scotland and couldn't win enough seats in England, seats like Watford, like South West Herts. They were never going to win Hertsford, but they had to win key seats in like Watford to have any chance of covering the losses they would suffer inevitably from Scotland. And they just couldn't make enough seats above, and so we ended up in this position.
Yeah, I mean, UKIP did quite well across our region, didn't they? And they came third or fourth with sort of, on average, about 5,000 votes, 5,000 to 6,000 votes each.
Fourth in Watford, third in South West Herts, and third in Hertsmere. So solid. Take out the big two; they're the best of the rest, or second when they can be.
Yeah. Okay. So,
do you want some overall statistics about over national turnout? 66.1%, and overall 46%. 46 million people voted. So similar to last year, an increase of 1% on turnover. But it looks like Chris is back now with some traders who would have some views as well.
Oh, I'm sure they will. Chris.
Yeah, hi guys. I'm not sure about traders, more like trader.
Ah.
They're all a bit camera shy. All a bit camera shy down here, but I've got Damien.
Can you turn the volume up, please, Chris?
I can't turn it up. I can speak into the mic though.
Oh, that's better.
Right, hang on a second. I'm going to get Damien on. So you're talking about the election right now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just finish the roundup for it.
Okay, fine. Okay, well, here I am with young Damien here, and Damien runs the flower shop. I'll get a picture there now. So, Damien, tell us, did the election go the way you thought it would go?
To an extent, yes. In that when people talk about change, they very seldom actually vote for change. So from that point of view, yes, it went according to my maybe prejudged opinions.
Is it the way you wanted it to go?
My choice for how it would have went weren't really on the table, so no, probably didn't go quite how I would have wished for it to go. But maybe some of the outcomes will, the long terms and the medium term outcomes might be how I would have wanted them.
Harrington getting back in Watford, was that good?
I think it was I don't know whether it was good, but I think it was just. It seems to have been an MP that has a high local presence and seems to have done some good things, and certainly my shop, not this one, but one of my other shops, has benefited from his interaction from preventing a CPZ going ahead. So, controlled parking zone. Right. There are some other terms for it, such as theft, fraud, robbery as well, but people normally know them as CPZ zones.
So, so from the point of view of the market, any change as a result of this?
I don't see how, parliamentary-wise, I don't see how initially there will be great changes here, but perhaps Dorothy will have extra time on her hands now to devote to this part of the town in order to make some, quite large changes that are required to turn the, the history, the last 6-month history of this place, to turn this place around.
Okay, so as regards Dorothy in Watford, she can get on with the mayor's job now.
I mean, maybe she'll follow the lead of Nick Clegg, her party leader, Nigel Farage, and a couple of others that have chosen to resign. I suspect that probably won't be the case. So, maybe we just have to hope that Dorothy gets more interactive down here. Being a glorified bureaucrat, it's hard for bureaucrats to actually make constructive economic and commercial decisions. So that goes against her naturally. But perhaps she could take on board more input from commercial-based people and less from bureaucrats.
Last Saturday we had the big Watford promotion. How did that go down here? Did you get any increased business? Were people buying flowers?
I didn't particularly notice that, no. We don't seem to have, for us she has seasonal trends, 3 trends or 3 peaks throughout the year. And so apart from that, the sales patterns are pretty constant, really. So no, we didn't notice any particular increase in sales due to that.
Well, thanks ever so much for talking. You're the only brave soul that will come on this show today, so congratulations for that.
Anytime. Be a pleasure to come back another time.
Okay, thanks very much.
Cheers now. Bye-bye.
So there you have it. There was Damien. I don't know whether I've got you back on me or back on the market here at the moment. What are you seeing?
We're seeing the market at the moment.
Okay, here we go.
That's better. We can see you.
Yeah, so there you go. That's one opinion. I'm gonna go upstairs now and grab a coffee. I might get a chance to speak to Ray. I might not, but what else am I on here talking about? Anything in particular?
Well, since you're down on the market, Chris, I was wondering if there was any news on the market, because of course it's a constantly evolving story, and opening times are changing. And days are changing on a kind of almost weekly basis at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's settling down here now. I mean, at the moment, the only real change is that downstairs in the market, they're closed on a Wednesday. But as of the early part of June, then it all does change, because it's a 6-day week for the upstairs and out in the street, and it's a 5-day week, including Sunday. But closing on, no, hang on, it's a 4-day week. I think they're doing Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, and half-day Sunday. So, it's a bit less. The rents have gone down. So the traders are happy about that. But some of them are not so happy about losing 2 days in the week to gain a Sunday afternoon, where there is no actual evidential data that a Sunday afternoon is going to be of any value to anybody.
Yeah, I'd have thought it would have made that Sunday opening would have been a bit difficult for perhaps some of the fresh food suppliers, like the fishmongers, the greengrocers, and indeed even for Damien and his flowers, although they're less time sensitive than, say, fish or some fruit and vegetables.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. In fact, you're so right, they're not opening. So, and the thing about the Sunday opening was it's actually also linked to their rent. So if they don't open on a Sunday, the 25% discount on their rent doesn't apply. So for those people that can't get their produce, it's almost like an inflicted increase in rent, because they've lost 2 days trading and the rent's gone up.
So it's a kind of double whammy.
Absolutely. So that's not going to work well for definitely for Gary on the fruit and veg, and definitely for the fish guys. They're going to, they've got less trading hours, and their rent will have gone up. So, but last Saturday was a good indication of perhaps what summer might be like. It was really busy, as Alex was saying, down here, a real buzz, and hopefully the upstairs food court being open for longer and people knowing it's open, it should help to save their souls. I'm not quite sure whether the heating, which I don't know whether you can see that heater behind me, it's not a huge thing. They've got supposedly 3 of those coming. I have to say, it's quite warm me standing underneath here at the moment. but I'm not actually sure why it's on, to be fair. There's no one here.
That's how these things are going to work.
Yeah. So anyway, it was. I can see Ray skulking around over there. He won't come and talk to me, though.
Don't pin him in the corner or something.
Yeah.
You do often speak to Ray and try and persuade him to come on, and whilst you're doing that, Catherine can tell us about Marek 50k and the sponsorship he needs to get him running.
Absolutely, yes. Marek's getting his running shoes on yet again, and he's going to be running 50k along the towpath of the Grand Union Canal, starting in London, Maida Vale in London. The 50k mark is actually going to be in Canterbury Park, which is where we will go and meet and greet him on behalf of the charity, the Michael Green Foundation. But he does need to raise £250 by the 15th of May, I believe, in order to participate in the race. So, yes, any donations, please, on his Virgin Giving page. As I said earlier, I'll pop the link just underneath this recording as well. But yeah, he's looking forward to it and training hard.
Good. And again, you've also got another event coming up in the near future. It's exercise of a different type.
Absolutely, yeah. Varsha Khatri, our nutritionist who's helped with our Eat Fit course, her along with a few other colleagues are holding a yoga event on International Day of Yoga. They're holding an event in Ruislip, I believe, or Harrow, in fact. There is a flyer on her Facebook page. Again, I'll put the link on after the show. And it's basically a fun day from 9:15 till 12:30. People are invited to come along, have a taster of yoga. There will be 5 experts on site who can help with positions and help you to understand what yoga is all about and what it can do for you. Obviously, it is a sponsored event, again, raising money for the Michael Green Foundation. Brilliant idea.
Okay. Chris, have you got anyone with you now?
No, I haven't exactly. I have asked for coffee though, and I'm hoping that spending a bit of cash will work its miracles on me.
Money does make the world go round, doesn't it?
It certainly does. But he's not here at the moment. But I will just turn the mic off, and I'll just wander around until I stalk someone down.
Okay. Right. Well, Alex, I know that you've been to 1 or 2 of these anti-stress sessions, and that Neil held colouring sessions for adults, and I know that you've been to 1 or 2 of these in the past. Did you go this weekend, this Wednesday rather?
Unfortunately, didn't make it this week. I had other plans and couldn't make it. Last week I was at the first one. It was a really good evening. It was between 7 and 8:30, and it's very much. It almost felt like a Link for Growth event, but with a bit of drawing, a bit of colouring in. And I spent a lot of time speaking to Catherine and our friend Ruth, who's just subscribed to Link for Growth. Thank you, Ruth. Just talking as well as sharing ideas, and it's a great way of doing something relaxing, but also having a chance to talk to people, find out more about programs like Thrive, about reading books or what it's there. So it's a great it's an event to get people there, and I know Neil was really impressed with it.
I gather he's planning to repeat it on a weekly basis.
Yeah, the next one's coming up next Wednesday, same time, same place. I might be able to make it, not 100% sure. But yeah, if you're free, go and check it out, because it's really good fun.
Oh, it's a bit too much like a Busman's holiday for Catherine and I. Okay. Now, the Thrive wine tasting event, we've got a date for that, and that's Thursday the 9th of July. Again, at the Reason Coffee Shop, which seems to be becoming a kind of a de facto Link for Growth high street presence, which is really nice that we can have it. And I know Neil is really welcoming and serves great coffee there. And the profits from the wine tasting evening are going to help raise funds to put young people through the Thrive program. There will be more details coming soon. Neil very briefly outlined what Thrive is and how it benefits people and stuff like that. And next week or two we hope to have Tanya Clark, who runs Thrive in the Thrive program in Watford, to come on the show and talk about it, and how it helps people grow and develop, and helps change their views and everything. Chris, are you still on your own?
I feel I might be on my own for the rest of the day, to be fair. But I have a cup of coffee now, so all is well.
Oh, good, good. The Rickmansworth Festival, this is really a heads up, in that the Rickmansworth Festival is taking place from the 16th to the 17th of May, which is week tomorrow, and that's the reason why we're mentioning it. And I gather, Alex, that one of the other charities that we work with, hello, Alex, he's gone.
I think he's gone.
He's gone. I gather that the Waterways Experience are going to be holding taking a couple of boats down there and everything, but and I was hoping Alex was going to tell us more about it, but obviously he can't. We've got one of these technical glitches.
I do know that they are going to be there, as do you, but as to what they're doing, I think they might be offering some boat trips and stuff like that down there as well. So they've got a couple of good positions, I understand, and it was really good last year.
Okay, great. That's really good. Now, this week it's another kind of packed week for us. Oh, Alex, you're back.
Yeah, technical difficulties. Whether that's the start of the revolution, I don't know, but I am back now.
Well, I always find that banging on top of the screen works wonders. We were just talking about the Waterways Experience in Rickmansworth, and I know that you have links to the Waterways Experience, and that they can be taking a couple of boats. Chris was saying they're taking a couple of boats down there. Can you give us any more information on what they're planning to do?
Yeah, they're taking 2 boats down. One of them is going to be used as kind of the main base for the festival. As a result, they've been given a prime location, I believe, opposite Tesco's. I don't know full details, but when I find out, I'll let everyone know. But yeah, so part of the Ricky Festival next Saturday and Sunday, 16th, 17th. So yeah, 2 days, lots of stuff going on. I was there last year, loads of boats come down for the festival, hire companies, kind of, you can buy a timeshare company, so lots of stuff going on. And in the evening and the afternoon, there's kind of concerts and different kind of local bands coming together. So it should be a really good afternoon.
So where exactly in Rickmansworth is it being held? Obviously on the canal and the aquadrome?
Main site around the aquadrome, parking all around that area, but around the aquadrome is the main site.
Great. Okay. Well, moving on to Link for Growth events next week, we have quite a few of them in both Southwest Herts and Central Herts. Starting off with both Chris and Alex at the Watford Market tomorrow at 10 o'clock, as usual.
Yeah, I'll be back 10 o'clock. Should be good. Catch up, a few things to talk about. We've got a few plans I want to put into action as a result of last night's election. I'm sure we'll come to those in the coming weeks. We'll get those penciled in and find out what else is going on in the market.
Yeah, and of course it's a great opportunity for people to come down and find out more about what Link for Growth is.
It's going to be a surprise guest there tomorrow morning as well.
All right. Any spoilers?
It's not what you think.
Depends what you know what I think.
Well, it's nothing to do with the election, but just letting you know there's going to be a guest.
Okay.
So, all will be revealed next week, of course.
Next week or this week? Tomorrow?
Well, it'll be revealed to those who are there tomorrow, of course, but next week on the show, my special guest can be identified. Just put it out there.
You need an excuse to come down.
Right, well, moving on, we've got Link for Coffee on Monday on the parade, at the Reason Cafe on the parade between 10 and 11:30. Now, these are usually quite good events, aren't they, Chris?
Usually, always is the word you were looking for. Yeah.
Corrected.
Yeah, no, it's good there. It's even better because I can walk there in about 5 minutes, which is perfect. But no, it's great. We have some really we had some really good conversations at all Link for Growth events, and that's no different, especially as there's a load of books there and you can kind of always find something to bring up in a conversation, which is fantastic. And Neil is always very, there's a lot of noise going on here. Sounds like the roof's coming in. But Neil's always very accommodating, and no, it's great. So if you're in the Watford, top of the town, or in Watford at all, just get down there.
Okay, and the other thing that's happening, in fact, there are two events happening on Wednesday. One is actually a Central Herts event, but it gives you an opportunity to talk, which is the coffee at the Metro Bank on St Peter's Street in St Albans. But it gives you, Chris, to talk about the Link for Business that you launched on the national TV show last week, and maybe you could explain what it is and how it's going to work locally here.
Yeah, well, Link for Business is basically recognising that people that are in business do have special requirements. They need certain things which people in the community generally don't need. So if you think about Link for Growth, FSB and Business Link, and you put it together, it provides a community for business people to share ideas, swap information, help each other out, without being like overly serious, but giving it a bit more structure and allowing people to present what they do or present something that's of real interest to them. We don't have anything like that in Link for Growth, so it is a real opportunity to kind of bring a slightly wider and diverse range of opportunities to those people that are in business. So and the way it's going to work in terms of structurally is that the district leader has under his remit, or her remit, the opportunity to appoint somebody who's going to look after Link for Business in the district. It could be the same person as the district leader, but we all know that that's quite a task in its own right. So in time, those roles will have to be separated.
So I know you're trialling this up in Cambridgeshire. So when are there any plans to bring South West Herts, and if so, when?
I'm in heavy negotiations with a fellow not too far away from you, a certain Mr. Murray. I'm sure those conversations will develop further tomorrow. But yeah, it's all very exciting stuff, and it's really tapping into a section of the community that probably have stayed away from Link for Growth because they probably think it's a bit too flowery and a bit too soft and woolly, and they don't really think it's going to benefit them in business. Well, of course, we all know it does, but this is an opportunity for them to come to something which is slightly more, if you like, slightly more up their street, and then learn more about what Link for Growth can offer in other areas as well. Okay,
that's great. And also on Wednesday in the evening, we have Link for Drinks at the Fox and Hounds in Rickmansworth High Street between 7 and 9 in the evening. This is what, our third or fourth time of holding this event. I mean, it's a fairly new event, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's the fourth time, I believe.
And then finally on the 14th, which is Thursday, we have Link for Coffee at the Mercure Hotel on the A41, which is hosted by Catherine.
Yes, I shall be there with my brand new banner, which is using some of the resources on the Link for Growth website, where you can download your artwork, and I've got a rather nice snazzy banner printed up, which I shall bring along. But yes, coffee at Mercure is from 10 till 11:30. Come along, plenty of parking there, so come along, have a coffee, have a chat. Look forward to seeing you.
Okay, the photo competition is ongoing, and which is a national competition, but anyone from South West Hertfordshire who is a visitor to a Link for Growth site can put as many entries as they like on there. The winner of this month's prize is the person who puts most photos on the website for us to count, and it's just purely a numbers thing, and then we can have a look at it. Hopefully we'll get lots of entries. I've spoken to two people locally who are very keen to put entries on, and other people have, so hopefully that will grow soon. And Chris, this is a regular gig for you of providing prizes for the next 5 months.
Yeah, thanks for that. Always a pleasure to help out where possible. He says convincingly.
Sorry, can I just, speaking of competitions, have we missed the deadline for the L4G selfie competition? When does that finish?
That finishes tonight, midnight. So if you have selfies, you can still post them up there.
All right, just thought, I wasn't sure. So if anyone's got a fancy another one, because there's another competition that's running on.
We should take a screenshot of this actually and put it up as a selfie. Anybody got a link for growth thing in the background? Come on.
All right. Got some of them.
Take a screenshot. Someone take a screenshot.
Right, okay then. Well, on that happy note, I think it's time we all disappeared. And thank you all for joining me.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for hosting, Diane.
Yeah, thanks, Diane. Really good show again. I've tried my best to spoil it every week. I hope it's not been too bad this week.
No, actually, Chris, we're learning to cope with your inability with technology.
The microphone really helps, by the way.
Yeah, it's a bit more, it's not so conspicuous. I mean, it's like I'm wandering around and people are thinking, who the hell's this guy with a microphone? They're all running away.
Well, yeah, they'll get used to it. People get used to it. So anyway, on that note, we shall say goodbye.
Cheerio all.
Take care, guys. See you all next week.
Cheers.
Cheerio. Bye-bye.